This secret hi-fi product can save you thousands, improve how your system works, and improve how your system looks. What is it? Let's find out together. Sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about this new mystery hi-fi product that's $135. This thing's probably gonna sell out, okay? Just warning you, if you're interested in it, I would probably buy it today. All right, here's the problem. You got a new amp. Whether one amp is better than the other, it's hard to tell the difference. You can put one up, you can wire things up and listen to it. Then you can bring that down, put up your new amp, wire it up, listen to it. But generally, there's a little bit of time in between. And as humans, our hearing, we have forgetful hearing. Chances are we're gonna be hard pressed to really nail down the differences in sound. However, if you could hook up both amps to the same speaker at the same time and be able to quickly switch with the touch of a button on a decent remote, then you may just save thousands of dollars. Because guess what? Your new amp, maybe it's not as good as your old amp. This is the Fozzy Audio LC30. It's a speaker switcher. It's an amp switcher. It's a speaker switcher. It's an amp switcher. Saying switcher is hard to do. All right, let's try this one more time. It's a speaker switcher. It's an amp switcher. And it has beautiful VU meters on the front. This product was actually a Kickstarter, and it got funded very quickly. Let's talk about what else it can do. Give you a scenario. You have a home theater system and you have the speakers picked out just right. It's dialed in. It's the perfect home theater system. But you have a pair of speakers. Maybe they're warmer. Maybe they're more engaging. But you don't want to have to get your speakers out of the closet, drag them over, unplug your other speakers, plug those in, and then listen to your favorite music on your AVR? Well, if you had this switcher, even if you're running two different speakers off of the same AVR, you could use this. So you just have both speakers hooked up to this, and then you'd have your AVR front channels hooked up to this. If you're listening to music, you just switch them over. Watching movies, switch it over. Let's take a look at the remote control. Fairly straightforward. You have an A and a B. Those are for your amplifiers, and you have a 1 and you have a 2. And that is for the speakers. A button that increases how much light is going on. And then a sensitivity button. Built very, very well. Has a wonderful pot right here that controls the sensitivity of the VU meters. Nice, beefy binding posts here on the back for all of your speakers. I have been using the One Little Bear VU3 for quite some time. I love it. However, I have noticed that I use it so often that some of the speaker connectors on the back have become a little bit loose. Occasionally a channel pops out and you have to do the good old-fashioned Millennium Falcon to get it going again. I love the VU3. I've used it so much, but the build quality, not nearly on the level that the LC30 is. You have a speaker that you love for jazz. You have a speaker that you love for your death metal. I'm just kidding, for any other genre of music. Well, guess what? Now you can have both of those speakers out whenever you want to and be able to switch it over. If you're listening to jazz, boom. If you're listening to death metal, boom, you hit the speaker that you like for your specific music type. This is all assuming that you have enough room to have both speakers out at the same time. And yes, if you have two speakers right next to each other, it may mess with your soundstage and imaging, but you can always just go plop one speaker on the different stand. Anyway, that's your problem. It's not mine. I'm trying to give you solutions here. I'm trying to make your life better. Okay. This movie was Alan Rickman's first feature film. I'll give you a hint. It was an action movie too. One of the best things that this product will do is enable you to do your own blind testing. Every time I say a speaker is better than the other, or an amp is better, or I prefer it better than another speaker or amp, people get in the comments, especially with amps. Oh, did you blind test yourself on this? It's a blind test, blind testing. That's the only way. You got a blind test. You can blind test yourself with this one. One, you could put a piece of black tape over whichever amp or speaker is playing. Two, you could kind of have somebody else hook them up, have your wife hook them up in the back, have your son hook them up in the back, whomever. Or you could just try not to remember which one was hooked to which one, and then just click this a whole bunch. This is what I've done in the past. You just click the amp a whole bunch of times so you don't know which one you're landing on, right? Then you listen, click, listen for a while, click, listen for a while, and then you write down on a piece of paper the differences that you hear and which one you prefer. You can also do this with power chords. Now, granted, you'd have to have the same amp. So you'd have to have two of the same amps, and then you'd have to have two different power chords. But I have done power chord comparisons with this thing because I just switch the amp back and forth, and I'm listening for differences. You can test speaker cables on this thing if you want to. If you are new here and getting any value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. You can subscribe, it's right down there. I know like 60% of you watching this video aren't subscribed. Click the subscribe button, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Thank you for watching. For me, as a reviewer, this makes my life infinitely easier, and it makes my evaluations, comparisons of different amps and different speakers infinitely more valuable to you because I'm actually hearing real-time differences. Now, some people will say you shouldn't ever compare products that way. You should spend more time with each product and then switch them out. I have over 900 videos at this point. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that I've listened to a lot of stuff. I've done this a bunch of times, and the thing that has been the most beneficial for me is to be able to do quick switching real time. If you are comparing different integrated amps with different volume controls, there is ways to level match these. You can send test tones, make sure that they're matched up just right. Speakers are a little bit harder to do considering that they probably don't have the exact same sensitivity, but being able to quickly switch back and forth between speakers when you have the same source and the same amplifier is invaluable for your comparison. Ooh, I love it. And I love the fact that it's built well. That was the one thing about the VU3 that I just can't get over is it just felt a little bit chintzy in its build quality. This one, a lot heavier, a lot stouter. The knobs are way better. The switches are way better. And the remote control is an order of magnitude better than the remote control on the VU3. There's nothing wrong with the VU3. However, what is wrong is they're coming in at the same price. So at this point, I don't know why anyone would consider the VU3 over the LC30 from Fozzy Audio, unless you're short on space. I have this switcher back here, which is cool, but you can't switch it from a remote control. It's a very good switcher. I like it, built really well. But the great thing about the LC30 is that you can switch it from wherever you're at in your room. And I think that's where the real beauty of this product comes in. And the real value of it comes in because you can be in your listening position, switching back and forth. Hopefully I've given you enough reasons why you'd find this thing valuable. And I'm not just trying to shill this thing. I am literally trying to communicate how valuable this thing could be because you don't have to listen to me anymore. You can become your own reviewer. Now, make sure if you're getting a speaker, make sure you're getting it from a place that has a liberal return policy. If you're getting an amplifier, make sure you're getting it from a place that has a liberal return policy because at this point, if your stuff that you have right now actually sounds better or you like the sound better than the stuff that you're getting in, well, you need to make sure you can return it and get all your money back. But for $150, there's a 15% off coupon right now, so $135. This is an investment in yourself, and it makes finding the perfect product for you even easier. 10 out of 10. The LC30 from Fozzy Audio should be in everybody's system if they're ever thinking about doing a speaker or an amp upgrade, or if they want to do some of the scenarios I talked about, having different speakers for different music, a home theater system running right next to a 2-channel system. Wonderful. Wonderful. All the issues I had with the VU3 from Duke Audio are addressed with the LC30. If you want to support the channel, you can check out the links in the description. This is going to be an affiliate link, which means if you click and you buy, I do get a commission. Doesn't cost you any more though, so it's a great way to help out the channel. Now, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Great Facebook group, great Discord, great Zooms on Sunday. Trial Amazon Music or Tidal full free. Links in the description. Finally, if you really got some value, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Down at the bottom of the video, there's a thanks button. Click, send me a couple of bucks, but don't feel compelled to buy me anything. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen, maybe using your new amp and speaker switcher from Fozzy Audio, the LC30, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.